GA Scumbags, welcome back to another episode. It's our final, well, we finished all the position breakdown episodes, so we're going to bring you a big, good sized Duke football season breakdown, preview, prediction episode. We're going to predict overall record, scores of each game. Maybe are we doing that, Tyler?
If you guys want to do scores, we can. I was just
We
going to
we
do
can we
wins,
can
losses.
we can skip that. We have enough
Yeah,
content for
we're gonna
today.
break down what we're going through though. Breaking down the schedule for you guys at least.
Yeah, breaking down the schedule. We're gonna do a little bit of a twist. We're gonna do the mailbag first. We're also gonna give you guys our predictions for like top three and top or bottom three standings in the conference. So like where we think the top three best teams are gonna be and who the worst three teams are gonna be. So should be a good one.
Yeah, and we were planning on having a bye week, and this was going to be coming out next week, but we're kind of got a big surprise coming for you guys next week. Something we're really looking forward to. Probably going to be out on Wednesday or Thursday, so really looking forward to that. But really looking forward to knocking this out of the park with the fellas. We'll also be talking about some best bets for the your futures, whether that's Heisman, Nationals or best ACC bets, as well as giving you guys some week zero picks. So scum betting is also back, and just looking forward to it.
Take the scum money line.
Never.
Yeah,
That's
and
worst bets, actually.
Yeah, we did not do well last year. We're gonna get our face
yeah,
back this year.
yeah. We've been in the call us Todd Polino because we've been in the lab.
Hashtag lab.
And like Noah said, yeah, we're gonna have a guest next week. Shout out Coach Franks for agreeing to come on next week. That's gonna be fun.
Followed by
Shout out
Coach Barry Wilson on the bye weeks. Is
Ted
it's
Roof will be here for
it's
the
just
Elon
a
game
mass assembly of all the former Duke coaches that sucked.
of the
I
biggest
actually, which
letdowns.
is all of
Yeah,
them except like Spurrier, Cutcliffe,
Manny.
Elko,
that's it.
Manny, and Wallace Wade, who's dead. So,
We're
um,
gonna bring you guys an interview from the tomb of Wallace sometime.
oh man, forgot. I actually think it would be really interesting to get an interview done with Franks, just to ask him like, how little support did you have in your tenure as a Duke football coach? Obviously, you were terrible, but do you think you would have done better if you had, more than $10 in your budget? Um, I digress. Like we said, we're gonna start off with the mailbag this week, so I guess we'll jump right in.
Dive right
First
in.
question comes from our friends at the Roll Coverage Podcast on X/Twitter. They ask, how does the quarterback stand up this year in the scheme? Uh, I'll go
Better.
first. Yeah, from reports that we're hearing from inside camp, uh, Darian has been everything they had thought and hoped and more on the field and in the locker room as a leader. As you guys know, Jonathan Brewer, the word on the street is that Malik Murphy and Brewer didn't get along last season because Murphy did not fit Brewer's schemes and game plans. So, on paper, Mensa should be better. So we'll see.
Yeah, from just an X's and O's standpoint, Brewer runs kind of an RPO flex offense. And as we did some interviews with Brian Parker and just as talking to other people and just from things we've seen, last season, the inability to execute half of what an RPO is limited the offense a lot. And that's not to put Malik to blame at all. Let me just say that a good offensive coordinator should schematically, have a game plan for his team's strengths and not just
Adapt.
his own personal strengths. Not going to harp on that too much though. So with Mensa, just from the aspect of playing the position in his scheme, it's a lot better fit. So looking forward to that. And like Eli said on paper, looks good.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch on it too long. You guys already harped on it, but yeah, like he should be a better fit. The offense should improve, and Minta's a good quarterback. He he's an upgrade from Malik. I love
Yeah.
Malik, but Minta's an upgrade, so the offense will look a lot better.
Yeah. Second question from our friend, the Duke of QP. Does Darian Mensa get any Heisman votes?
No.
I feel like he could throw for 5,000 yards and not getting Heisman votes just based on the fact that it's Duke.
Doesn't
Not
matter what he does. Agreed. He's not going to
there.
get any votes
There's
this
a
year.
non-zero chance, but I would say no.
Now, if he stuck it out at
Slim to
Duke,
none.
if he stuck it
Yeah,
out at Duke for another year and then goes league, 2027, plays at Duke in 2026, I might say he could finish, in the top 10 of voting, but not this season.
Feel like Mensa could, not to be too negative or anything, or like be too, too woe is us, so to speak. But I mean, to this point, at least, I feel like a Duke quarterback could walk on water and cure cancer and still wouldn't get any Heisman votes.
Yeah, our
Not that we've,
Facebook post would still get thumbs downs
yeah, I mean, not that like Duke has necessarily had anybody who's worthy of Heisman votes to this point
ever.
Brandon
ever,
Connett, 2013 would like a word.
but still, yeah, 20 rushing touchdowns. Where were you?
Situational Heisman, Brandon Connett.
Yeah,
Situational Heisman. Greatest running quarterback in Duke history, followed only by Riley Leonard. And his wristbands.
And his wristbands, folks.
The third question comes from our friend Bruce K at the Poolman NABQT. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is.
But you definitely just said a slur for
Yeah, I was gonna
sure.
say, is that kind of some kind of slur?
Scums canceled, hashtag.
Hashtag scumgate. Um, Bruce asks, "What do I have to do to get the scums to visit my tailgate?" It's as simple as sending us a DM.
Yeah, we're
tell us where you're
we
at.
we did last year kind of make our way around. I think kind of towards the end of the year, more people started to catch on to the pod. Invited us out to tailgates, stop by, say hey, coming up to us and saying hey, this year we will have Scumgate. As Eli just said,
No, it's not a scandal.
it's not
Yes,
a
for the
scandal.
tailgate.
Yes,
Yes,
Yet,
it's
yet.
not a scandal and it's a scandal at the same time. Getting ahead of the curve. But yeah, so we're gonna have things. We'll be making posts about those weekly, kind of when we have more details each week. But also, yeah, let us know. We'll always pull up for a beer.
We kind of have a running joke in the group chat that, or at least my joke was, the tailgate's going to be called the Scum Tailgates, and then Scumgate, the scandal, will be born out of one of the tailgates. So
30
the
for
joke,
30.
yeah, 30 for 30. The joke was like, we walk out of the Illinois game after a overtime win, and we're like, hey, like Noah hasn't been here this whole time. We go to the kiddie pool and there's Noah face down, and we just never knew it.
Jarrett's watering me with Sanford's fifth tanker firefighter truck.
We've got Kate Rogerson on the scene next to the yellow tape. They're calling it Scumgate.
God.
Anyway, next question. Our friend Sam at Bleeding Duke Blue has a couple of these. Just for fun, how quickly do we think Duke could make the leap into the top 25 as early as an upset win over Illinois week 2 or later? Yes, good question. And yes, you're right on the nose. If Duke beats Elon and Duke beats Illinois, like I mean, as long as Illinois doesn't, I don't know who their first game of the season is.
It's like,
Southwestern Illinois.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, as long as like
they're playing
Illinois
Elon.
doesn't, yeah, as long as Illinois doesn't lose to their Elon, they should still be ranked top 15, top 20 at worst in the second week. Therefore, if Duke beats them after the second week of the season, I mean, Duke's 100% going to be ranked top 25.
Yeah, if
If Duke
Duke
could start the season 2-0, they'll be top 25.
if the only scenario Duke doesn't get in after a week two win would be not a lot of teams lose. Illinois wouldn't slide out of the top 25 by any
Yeah,
means. And Duke could finish somewhere like 27th to 34th. But week three, week four at the latest with a conference win on their belt, like against State and a road win against Tulane, they'd have no choice but to rank us. Kate
yeah.
Rogerson, you hear me?
You would think week two would get us one, but the only problem with that would be
We're
like we're
Duke.
ranked what are we 41st? Like technically 41st in the AP poll.
Yeah.
So
And
if
in the
no one big
coaches, we were like
loses,
36th.
so if no one big loses, we'd have to jump 20 spots basically, which I think beating a top 15 team would do that. But if not, like Noah said, that might put us at like 27th, and then you beat Tulane the next week, and that'll definitely get you up another two spots in. So
Mm-hmm.
no
Something
later
like
than
that
week
happens
three.
every year as well. Like with a different team, something like this happens every year. They get ranked early, because they're going to have a good year, and rightfully so. But something like that happens. So, it seems like it's on the wall for Duke for sure.
Yeah. I mean, remember, like, it's similar situation to 2023. Like, Clemson was ranked number 9 coming into the season. Duke was unranked, beat them week 1. I think Duke was put in the rankings the next week at like 21, something like that.
Yeah,
That
And
we
ended
were
was,
up getting as
low.
high as 17 at one point.
yeah, got up to 17 for Notre Dame.
what could have been.
What
You
could
think
have
about how
been?
if Duke had won that game, they'd be top 10
God, for the first time in my life, Duke would have been top 15.
for the first time since like 1936.
Yeah, for any Duke fan's life, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Sam, his second question is also, while there's obviously a lot of factors involved, what's the minimum amount of games that you think Duke could lose and still play in Charlotte? That's a great question.
I'm assuming he means conference games for that, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
just
Well,
to
let's
say,
just
like,
say both. Like non-conference games, they could lose all of them. They could lose all. We have four, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
They could be 8-4 on the season with four non-conference losses somehow,
God,
That's
could you
so
and
Duke.
8
imagine?
0 in conference play and be in Charlotte. But realistically, if we're talking conference, I mean, we were just talking about this before the pod started. There is realistically like one guaranteed conference loss on the schedule and another possible conference loss. The guaranteed loss being Clemson. No ifs or buts. I don't care how positive you are. I don't care how negative you are. That's like 99.99% going to be a loss.
That's so negative, Eli. Ah.
And then somebody else, maybe like GT Tech. I'll get you all thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think Duke has, you can probably lose two games and get in due to like the strength of schedule for teams like SMU, Miami, Florida State, Louisville, and Tech, and us. You kind of look at that runner up, Clemson, and who else, and some of those teams are going to have three conference losses just based off how many times they have to play each other out of that group. And so if Duke can kind of skate away without having to play Florida State and Louisville with two, I think we could get in.
Yeah, that's kind of where like Clemson's not losing more than one conference game if they lose that.
Mhm.
So like that spot's already locked in basically. Like Noah said, it's pretty much a
Everybody else is
four
playing for
team.
second place in the conference.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and us and Georgia Tech, our schedule is pretty much like exactly the same in the sense of there's Clemson on our schedule, then we play each other, and every other game we should be favored in. So it's one of those things where if you drop both of those two games, you probably have to hope Georgia Tech drops an upset or two somewhere. So there's a world where Duke could lose two and make it, but like if Duke loses three conference games, barring a miracle, they won't be in Charlotte.
Yeah, tiebreakers just wouldn't go our way with all the
Yeah,
other teams.
Yeah, strength of schedules, whatnot. Our friend Timothy Gonzalez at Timothy 87311
Straight
to
goon.
fake zero. I don't know what you call that. Timothy Gonzalez, who's been on the ass of several Duke basketball Twitter personalities lately.
just going
I
to
don't know if
war, man.
yeah, I mean he's like us last year, but worse. Like he's just like unprompted, like going after Duke basketball Twitter personalities, and it's hilarious.
Caitlin Tomasi, you are not safe around
Yeah,
Timothy
he
O.
quote tweeted Caitlin
Gonzalez.
just sharing a video from the practice, and he was like, "Maybe you can support our football team this year too," and pinned it on his profile. Tim's a
He's
menace,
not
dude.
he's not wrong either, Caitlin. Penn State, they're not all that.
Yeah,
Come support the Blue
please.
Devils. Quit
We've
cherry
got
picking.
Manny Diaz. That's close enough.
He's super hot. Brian Franklin is not.
We'd love to host you at the Scum Gates.
Hashtag
Uh,
Scumgate.
Timothy Ogunzalez asks, how many games this season will Duke play on ABC this season? And what are the chances that Duke goes to the Gator Bowl or a higher bowl? Yadada means smiley faces.
Bowl
So
chances way
I
better.
I know we at minimum play on ABC against Illinois. Is there anybody else yet? I
AB
mean,
I
it changes
confirmed,
throughout the
but
season. Not
it's
confirmed yet, but as of right now, we have at least one.
yeah, and like the Illinois has a flex option on it, but I highly doubt it'll get flexed. It should stay there because the week two like games are not that
just
potent
not.
for ESPN's contract. Fox has a lot better games that week.
And that's why we
So
were kind of that's why, there are some folks, never mind.
I mean,
hashtag bring game day to Wallace Wade.
Yeah.
looking at it, Clemson. There's a chance that gets that's either an ABC game or that's an 8 o'clock ACC network kick.
Hey, I
Like
feel like
that's
that's ABC.
um Georgia Tech. maybe.
That's
Possibly, depending
giving
on how East team is.
noon kick. We haven't played them at noon in a while.
Um,
If Duke
I mean,
and
other
Clemson are
than
both
that,
really good going into the Clemson game,
Could you imagine the hype around it just for Duke to lose 52-14? Ugh. On Tyler's birthday.
oh
it
god,
would be fitting, really.
I can't wait to
yeah.
be at that game. We're gonna rage.
Kate,
There's
my girlfriend Kate keeps saying, "Are you going to the Clemson game?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Why? She's like, "Well, I'm running a marathon the next morning." I'm like, "Hey, that's tough."
That's great for
There,
her.
there's marathon, there's marathons every weekend in this city. Pick a different one. I would love to support you, and I'll support you from Clemson, South Carolina, but I will not be there in person. I will be hungover in my hotel room in Clemson, North Carolina.
Sleeping on
Sad.
Howard's Rock, man. Just
Yeah, sad. Replaying the day before in my head.
but
UNC, maybe.
Oh
nah,
yeah, dude. Well, no,
yeah.
see, I've been a
Just
big. I'm
just
on this
because of looking
narrative.
at their schedule, they might be good enough to where us and them get like a 3:30 ABC kick.
Well, see, I'm
Yeah,
feeling that's like a 3:30 ESPN kick because that week is loaded
yeah,
with
but we're
better
also forgetting
games.
one thing here: the Belichick factor.
That's why they'll put it
USC
on ESPN.
is gonna have all this hype for no reason. They're gonna have an easy cupcake cakewalk schedule. So they're going to be a good football team, supposedly, and they're going to have the Belichick narrative. And so
Speak your truth.
Duke is going to have a hard-earned what 10-9 wins by this point, and Carolina's going to have their cakewalk 8-9 wins by this point. So just because of Belichick and the fact that both teams will be good on paper, I could very well see that game being put on like a prime slot for no reason.
Yeah, so probably like Duke could be on ABC guaranteed twice. Like not guaranteed yet, guaranteed once. 90% plus twice. 3 to 4 seems
Not
the
likely.
cap, like 50% area.
I guess,
So,
sorry, I don't know if I'm not saying that game will necessarily be on ABC, but at minimum, I could see it being like an 8 o'clock ESPN or ACC network kick.
yeah, no, yeah, I 100% agree. I think Duke sees 2 to 3 for certain, and then anything after that, just chop it up to what it is. And then the bowl game part of the question, I think the minimum Duke could go for this year is an 8-win bowl, which is the Holiday Bowl. So really, anything that and above,
We've
Duke
been
has
ducking
an
it for too
opportunity to
long.
win. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get into that later though. I got
The
a lot
Holiday
to
Yeah.
Bowl
say.
waits for no man.
Yeah, I've been standing on this rock for a long time.
A friend Tim Hayes, who's kind of a recent engager with us.
Yeah,
Glad to have you,
shout out
Tim.
Tim.
At Tim Hayes 03. You guys harped on special teams last episode and throughout the previews. But what if special teams was the only side of the team that was really affected by the weird offseason going into 2024? And the fact this offseason was way smoother goes a long way.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what he's saying. They were younger in a sense that like new punter, new coordinator that had never coached special teams to that
Really
position
just Tom
before.
and Curtis Cooper, hashtag Tommy Limbaugh's pride and
Dude,
joy.
shout out Big
Shout out
Kurt Coop,
TL.
CC, not Caitlin Clark. Best Cooper to ever walk through Durham, North Carolina as well. But
Speak your
yeah, I
truth.
can I can kind of see that, and kind of like we had said, same goes for Infante that goes with Brewer. They kind of deserve. Is that my mic,
That's Tyler's.
Tyler?
That's John Mateer's bookie.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, anyways, yeah. Completely lost my train of thought. Fuck.
Tyler's Mike.
Damn it. John Mateer got me.
You're talking about the best Cooper to walk through
Yeah,
Durham.
so like Infante, same thing as Brewer. Didn't have a great year one. Definitely willing to see what year two is before I write him off.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
hopefully a whole off season, and having more consistent, more talented guys to put on like the line and stuff will help out a lot.
I mean, like you said, there's not. I'll touch on the other part. He said, "What if special teams was the only thing affected?" So basically, like if Duke ran back last year, this year with better special teams, I'll be honest with you, don't think it changes much.
Yeah, I
I,
mean, there was like what one game that special teams could have won us last year, and that was SMU.
yeah, there
Yeah.
was one game where special teams single handedly cost the game, and it was just SMU.
Yeah. And yeah. Good question, Tim. Love you. Thank you. Keep leaving them.
The better
Uh
Tim.
Next question. What? You said the better Tim?
Oh,
The
that's
better
gonna
Tim.
That's
Tim's
not
gonna lose
okay.
it.
Tim's gonna
Well, he
unsubscribe.
keeps putting me in matches against Eli. I'm tired of
Yeah,
it.
dude. So our friend Tim, for those of you who don't know, if you've ever seen his Twitter profile, he loves WWE. And in our big group chat, he's always like creating like hypothetical scenarios and he's like pitting all of us against each other as if we're WWE characters. But Tyler pointed out last week that for some reason he always pits me and Tyler against each other. And he's always saying that like Bentley Weeks is like stealing people's shoes. I don't know what that
Yeah.
means. But
It's a classic, man.
I was gonna tell you last night, Tyler, he finally pitted us against other people, so we got a break.
Thank God.
Anyway, our friend Derek Scott at Big D 9172 says he predicts a 10-2 record and 6-2 in ACC play. That's kind of spot on. I think that's a best case scenario for Duke this season. Also, does the third down shoe make an appearance this season? Noah, what are your thoughts?
So a lot of hype around the third down shoe. But it came at a time where we lost and where my
It
entire
didn't work.
drive home, and no, yeah, and
It was the SMU game for those of you who
not
don't
Yeah.
even
know.
the fact that we lost. It's not even the fact that we lost. It's the fact that we brought it out. Duke like took the lead, went down again, turned it over, so we bring it out again, and then we miss the field goal, and then we lose at the end of the game, whatever. It's not even just that. It's the fact that I get in my car and I don't complain. Like I've always had a long drive to Duke games my whole life, from the Asheville area to now Charlotte. Charlotte's not bad at all. Hour and 50 minutes max. But that
Hour 30
entire
if you speed.
corridor, yeah, that entire corridor of I-85 was the only place in the state of North Carolina that was raining. And I had to drive home dark, sad, depressed in the rain with my shoes messed up. And I don't know. I'm skeptical because, like, what if I bring it out against Elon and next thing you know, it's 17-14 walk off Elon field goal and they've like stormed the field in Durham. But I think I'm gonna come up with something new. I just got to make sure it's authentic.
I
That's
think it should make an appearance at a home game this year, but only if Duke is ahead by enough
has to be a for
late
certain.
enough into the game. If we're like bending stay over and spanking their bare ass like 41 to like 13 with 4 minutes to go in the fourth, yeah, bring that shit out. Um, but if we're in like a,
We're testing the waters with it this year.
yeah, but if we're like 3 points behind Georgia Tech in the third quarter, let's call off the dogs.
Too much negative.
Yeah. Our friend Chris McLaughlin, who speaking of tailgates, we need to visit. We tried to visit him like for Elon of last year, but it didn't work
Yeah.
out. So we need to get to his tailgate at some point this year. Or Chris, leave the Mega Donor tailgate and come hang out with the real fans who get down and dirty in the B lots. You know where to
hashtag
find us.
hashtag nasty.
Yeah. Chris, like my girlfriend, you know where to find us. Um, Chris asks, anything short, or he says, more of a statement. Anything also for context on that joke, Tyler, can you provide context for the listeners?
Yeah, a lot of things happened at the Virginia Tech game last year,
What a night.
including Eli being just absolutely just
Belligerent.
wasted. That man single handedly funded Little Debbie's entire quarter, or Hostess, it was the Hostess snacks, funded Hostess' entire quarterly profit. Um, and at one point in time, Kate called Eli, and he was just like, "You know where to find me." just,
Yeah,
I was like, "It."
I
We
got
were at
really
the
drunk at
Walt,
the
I
tailgates
think.
on Michelob Ultras, and then the hard hat guys or Section 17 had like a whole box of like Little Debbie Hostess like snack cakes, and I was just downing those.
Eli like 30 packs.
Yeah, and then we're at the Blue Devil Walk, and my girlfriend was coming late. I'd been there since like 11, and my
Hmm.
girlfriend was coming late. She called me. She's like, "Where are you?" And I don't remember doing this, but the word on the street is I was just going, "You know where to find me."
When there's five firsthand accounts, you kind of
Yeah,
just have to believe it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know where to find me. She's like, "What are you talking about?" You know where to find me. I'm at the Blue Devil Walk. Anyhow, Chris McLaughlin asks, or he says, anything short of 8 wins would be a disappointment. True. Anything under 7 would be a disaster for both the program's momentum and my bankroll. Also true. If we go 8-4 or better, What are the odds we lose Manny?
Not any this year, I don't think.
Not
Yeah.
any. I think it just depends on how who's a guy at FSU?
Florida
Mike
State
Norvell
has
does.
to go 2-10 for them to buy him out because it's so much, and then they got to buy Manny out, which isn't like necessarily a ton, but like he's getting paid all right, you know. So I think we're
More than
good.
John Shire, which again I think is crazy.
I
It's
don't want
great,
to.
but it's crazy.
I don't want to overthink it because there's just a completely different vibe with the program than there was with Elko. So I'm gonna go with 0% chance.
Elko never unpacked his bags. That's the
Never.
thing. Elko never unpacked all the
Manny's
boxes
putting
he
some
had.
roots down right now that are hard to turn away from for
Yeah,
sure.
Manny's
Well,
more
and
it bought in on Durham and the program than Elko was for sure.
that another thing is like you got to look at it in the sense of A&M money is probably top 10 in the country for what they
Mhm.
can spend. Like those other 9 schools that are in that category with A&M, your Ohio State, Georgia, Bama, Michigan, like those caliber teams, they're not looking for Manny Diaz. No
No.
disrespect to Manny, but like if Kalen DeBoer leaves Alabama, Alabama's not calling Manny Diaz.
Yeah.
And that's not a me dunking on Manny, making fun of Manny. That's just not like realistic.
You're being so negative, dude. I'm
I know.
really just getting sick of it.
And like, so and I just don't think there are going to be that many big job openings where he's a realistic candidate this year.
Uh, San Jose State could give him a call and he could head out
Yeah.
west and
The
run the
Spartans
Mountain
are
West.
calling.
Spartans are calling. He's gonna run the Mountain West.
And as far as Chris's other comment, I wouldn't say 7. If we go 7-5, it's a complete disaster.
It's a
It's a step
disaster.
back for sure.
It's a
It's a
it's a
disaster.
It's a
giant step
it's a
back.
step back, but it's not sky is falling like the program's in
It meant
shambles.
everything went wrong pretty much.
I
It
think
meant
7-5 is absolute worst case scenario this season.
floor, floor,
When's the
floor,
last time
floor.
Duke going 7-5 was absolute worst case scenario? I don't know, but if minimum, I think that's a good sign for the program that if we go 7-5, that's a big deal
For
in a
sure.
bad way. Also shout out the lady in the Facebook group who said some shit like, "I hope we can make another bowl game this year." Yeah, I hope we can go 500. I hope we can win 6 games this year. God, just
Hope we can win
uh
6 games in the ACC conference.
zero, just zero faith in our program. Our friend Bentley Weeks asks, "I'm curious to know what y'all think we have to do to get to the ACC championship game. Is there a world where we can still lose 2 conference games to still get in?" I think that was kind of touched on a little bit ago.
I got this.
Um,
I got
yeah,
this.
Tyler's got this one.
Yeah, Bentley. All we have to do is finish top 2 in the ACC, and we get to Charlotte.
All we got to do.
Oh, that was funny. Next,
Yeah,
Yeah. Our friend Will Kuntis, Wet Willie,
fucking
asks,
big wet will.
"How many points does Duke have to score before someone accuses us of running up the score?" Low key, I hope we hit that mark a couple of times this year. I think that's what it will take for many in the media to sober up and recognize the football Duke has made.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Jesus Christ himself could be at quarterback. I mean, the Lord, the Messiah himself could be playing quarterback, and they could score as many points as possible. And I don't think anyone would ever accuse Duke of running it up on somebody. Little old Duke just doesn't have it in him.
Except like Temple like 5 years ago, but like
Even
that's
then,
about
we
it.
even then we weren't right. People were just like, "Oh, those are hard fault points for Duke. You know, they need
yeah.
that. Those are
Like
morale
three of
boosters."
those were like defensive scorers.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like
they're
so.
like
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh, that's good. These are just the second string guys."
I would love to be live in a world where Duke gets accused of running the score up on somebody, especially a conference opponent. That'd be sick.
Highly unrealistic.
That'd be the greatest. I mean, that's we've made it at that point.
Yeah, we'll get there soon.
but we are
Gar
going to see someone run the score up on us this year.
yes, we are. Be there for Clemson on
With
November
a bunch of King
1st.
James Bibles just getting
Shout,
thrown like
shout out
Dabo's just
Dabo.
walking around beating his players with them, just beating the Lord into them, son.
I'm not even going to Clemson for, like hoping to see a win. I'm going to Clemson
Straight
just to
vibes.
say I've been to Clemson. You know.
Tyler's
I'm
birthday and
genuinely
Scums
terrified of that.
do Death Valley. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the only reason.
Garrett says our friend Garrett, as I like to call him, the fourth scum. Our friend Garrett at Blue Devil underscore 316 says, I would love to hear everyone's bowl projections. Parentheses, we're so due for San Diego.
I
Indeed,
got
we
that
are.
later.
Yeah, so been waiting on this one. Um, these guys can both attest for ever since the Gator Bowl ended, I have said Duke will more than likely, like unless we go like 10-2 or better, Duke goes 9-3, 8-4. We will see San Diego. We have dodged it too long. Um, we're going to the Holiday Bowl. I just there's no other way of putting
We're going
it.
to Ripley's.
It's like I said earlier, the Holiday Bowl waits for no man.
Yeah, if we are death, taxes, and San Diego bound this year. Book of flights, boys. Book of flights.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll go in more in depth when we get to the schedule thing, but I think we'll be in Charlotte for
yeah.
for the bowl just to give something different.
God damn, we have a lot of mailbag.
Yeah, I mean my
Yeah,
school of thought with bowls is always like I want the best possible scenario for Duke, and if we can't get a best possible like A tier bowl, give me something close to home. Give me Charlotte. Give me whatever.
Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach. We're due. Um, Bryant Portland says, "Love the show, fellas. At what point or what amount does Duke win so many games that you worry about Diaz being poached by another school? Also, does Eli expect to touch grass anytime soon?" To answer the second question, what is grass? And then to answer your first question,
I mean,
It'd
we
have
kind of
to be
touched on it.
11 for me. I'll just drop the number. It'd have to be 11, I
you think
think.
so?
Where I would even like have a thought of worry though. I'm still not saying he would leave. 11 and I would be like, "Oh, it might get poached," but
I just don't think it happens this year. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it's not going to be this year.
hell yeah, boys.
You want to hit the Instagram one real quick,
What
Eli,
about
before we?
our
Oh
boy?
yeah.
Yeah, shout out the Chronicle.
Yeah,
Shout out our guys.
so we've brought the mailbag over to Instagram. It gets way less motion over there, but still good to branch out. Our friend Rajan Jindal from the Duke Chronicle, Duke student, asks any game on the schedule that's being overlooked. Probably Georgia Tech.
I think NC State.
You think so?
Yeah. Just from where it is on the year. I think
100%.
we start out 3-0 and little old states 1-2 or 2-1. I think we win,
Doran's
but I
playing
think
for
we
his job.
overlook it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
when we
that's
get
the
to the
last game
schedule
of the year for
breakdown,
him.
yeah, when we get to the schedule breakdown, I've got some more on that. But I think State's a good one. State and UConn are the two that I would say are need a little bit more attention just because of where they fall at and
You guys are so right.
situations.
I said Georgia Tech. God, I'm such an
God,
idiot. Such a
stupid, stupid,
mainstream
stupid,
idiot. Just take me off
stupid,
the pod.
Mainstream
stupid.
Eli out here.
All right. That kind of concludes our mailbag. Kind of a long mailbag, but kind of liked it.
Appreciate the
Kind of
Yeah,
questions,
felt
yeah.
good.
yeah.
All
But
right. Let's jump
to
into
get
our
into
season
some
preview.
to get into some stats now, some predictions.
And hey, the winner of this gets
Gets
nothing.
not
Gets nothing.
much. I mean, we'll probably buy the winner a few beers at the bar. Like, and
The winner
if you
gets a
guys
wet
want to play
willy and a
along,
cold beer.
Yeah,
and
you get a lukewarm Michelob Ultra at one of the tailgates this season.
yeah, so whoever does the best in the regular season at the bowl game, we will cover 1/32 of your tab, up to $2. So
We'll cover half a PBR.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we got you. Don't worry.
We'll cover
And
the tip.
yeah, yeah, don't worry. So looking forward to it. Last year did not go too swimmingly.
Shout out Javon Harvey for ruining my season.
Yeah, we had a
We
lot of
had six
whiffs
guys in that receiver room who could have gone for 1,000 yards. That's all I'm saying.
at Chandler Wilson. But yeah, let's
Hashtag
dive
where
on
are they
in.
now?
Um, yeah, nowhere. Literally like working like hard
Not
labor
watching his daughter.
jobs. Yeah, for real. But yeah, to open up, we're gonna start with the quarterback room, Darian Mensa, and what we believe his stats will be. We're giving yards and touchdowns. I personally think Mensa is gonna throw for 2,600 yards and right around 28 touchdowns.
It's a good prediction.
Eli, I'll
I'm
let you go
how
next.
many picks are we thinking, Noah?
Oh, we'll throw picks in too. I'll do 7 interceptions on the year.
respectable number. I think and we talked about this a little bit on the last episode with Mensa. I think Noah for passing yards, I think you're spot on. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have like a huge air it out, like fuck you, like offense. But with that being said, I think Mensa will have a good amount of passing yards. So yeah, right around 26, 27, like you said, that's kind of where I'm at as well. As far as passing touchdowns, I think Malik broke the record and set the record last year with what? It was like 26,
26.
26,
26.
yeah.
I
Which
don't
is incredibly low for a
That's
Yeah.
so
record
Duke, considering that Duke is QBU
of in our own mind.
in our own minds by Duke standards. Um, I don't see Mensa breaking 26 touchdowns this year, not because I don't think he's capable, but because I think the run game will open up a lot more, and I think his scrambling will be a lot more of a factor than Malik's was last season. That I think they won't have to rely on strictly passing touchdowns to win games this year, if that makes sense. So I think we'll see more rushing touchdowns this year from him and the running backs, and maybe slightly less passing touchdowns. That being said, give me 25 passing touchdowns from Mensa this season.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower than you guys just 'cause I think I'm in prove it territory with the run game. I'm going to buy into what everyone's saying, what we keep hearing, and expect that the run game is going to improve. And with that, Mensa's numbers may not look as good as Malik's on paper, but I'm going for just shy of 2,400 yards. I'll give him 21 touchdowns and 5 picks. And is he capable of much more than that? Absolutely. But I think Duke is going to run the ball if and when they can a lot this year. So I'm just playing into that a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, and like Mensa could absolutely blow those predictions out of the water, but those definitely feel pretty good. This next one I feel like is one of the more difficult ones, and I think it's one we're
Yeah.
definitely all gonna have some main differences on. And I think this is the same throughout the fan base. I think everybody's gonna have different choices. But we're gonna get into the running back room, the rushing leaders. We're doing carries, yards, and touchdowns. Um, I'm gonna go with Peyton Jones for the first two, with carries and yards. I think Peyton is probably gonna get around 160 to 175 carries. I'm gonna go with 160. And
More than
I
Quez?
Yeah, I think Peyton's going to see a higher volume of carries throughout the year than Quez is. And then I think yards, I think Peyton's going to have around 800, maybe 850. I think he's going to have a really solid year. But touchdowns, I'm going to go with Quez. I think Quez proved in 23 that even though he's an elusive back, he's also pretty powerful, a good power back down in the red zone. He had a lot of scores. Him and Jordan Waters both thrived in that role. So I'm going to pick him for touchdowns. I think Quez is going to come out and have a banger year and get 10 touchdowns on the year.
I mean, I think from my knowledge, like a Duke running back has never broken 10 touchdowns in a season, or at least not in a very long time. So it'd be really great to see our Duke running back do that this season. Sorry, Tyler's pointing at me. That means it's my turn to speak. I mean, I just think that our buddy, I think it's gonna be it's gonna be split between among several guys. We've got a bunch of guys in this room this year who are all capable of producing, similar to the tight end room. I think we're gonna see Jacquez Moore, Peyton Jones, and Anderson Castle getting a lot of carries, and also don't forget Nate Shepard. He's gonna be in the mix for sure. But I think obviously our RB1 is gonna get the majority of the carries. So Jacquez Moore, I think he's gonna get the most carries. Give me 93 carries for Jacquez Moore for 627 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And 5 touchdowns. That's kind of close to where I'm at with Quez. I do think, we said on the running back pod, this is going to be more of a traditional Cutcliffe, like a true stable of running backs. But again, it's Quez's team, his backfield. I've got 160 carries for Quez leading the team. I've got Quez leading us in yards with 650. And I pulled Peyton Jones for touchdowns here just because they keep talking about how much he's bulked up, how much stronger he's gotten.
Oh, he's gonna
I
be a beast this year for
almost,
sure.
and
Yeah,
I think Mensa's going to steal touchdowns from somebody. Like
right.
Mensa's going to steal a few rushing touchdowns, probably close to the goal line on a little bootleg where he just keeps it himself.
I
And
think
that
he
ties
ends
into
the
what I was saying.
season with 4 or 5. Mensa does
Yeah,
Yeah.
personally,
And
which
that's
is a
what I was
great
saying a little
number.
bit ago, which is like I think his passing touchdown number will be lower than Malik's from last season, but not because he can't do that, just because they're going to have other sources of touchdowns this year that aren't just passing touchdowns.
Yeah,
yeah,
and like that's the thing. Duke's got a kind of like a wide variety of who they can go to this year. So the numbers might not be like you're saying as skewed or as high, but they're going to be well. And speaking of passing touchdowns, our next category, kind of like the running back room, and this kind of with the tight end depth is kind of a hard one to pick and choose on. At least for me, it was. I because we as we've said on the pod, and I know Eli's put out a lot on the Scums page. This is Duke's one of our best tight end rooms ever. So this kind of makes the receiving projections a lot harder, knowing that at SMU Brewer really utilized 2 tight ends a lot. But we're gonna do receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Receptions, I'm gonna go Samir. I think Samir
Mm.
is going to be the leader in receptions. I think he's going to get a lot of the intermediate stuff. Those 3rd down and 5 slants where you have to have the grab to get the first down. I think those will kind of rack up for him over the year. I think he's going to end with about 60, maybe 65 on the year. Um, Yards, I'm going to go with Queso. I think Queso's going to take the top off this year and go for 850. And then
Whoa.
touchdowns, I'm going to go with Jeremiah Hasley. And I think Hasley's going to have just an elite year in the red zone. And I'm predicting 9 receiving touchdowns for Hasley.
Wow. So we're going to utilize the slot guys a lot and the tight ends a lot.
I just got a feeling. And that's not a knock on Anthony outside, because, like, from what I've seen and heard, like,
It's going to be a
he,
dog, dude.
yeah, he's gonna be a dog, and
yeah,
like if he
absolutely.
breaks all
Andrew,
those,
T.O.,
fine by
Anthony.
me. Yeah, that motherfucker on his TO stuff
He's going to be on the
Oh,
sidelines going, I love me some me. Get your popcorn ready.
for real.
I
yeah.
love that.
This is we're gonna have a lot of different opinions on this one. Just kind of like Noah said, the tight ends, the wide receiver. Like it's just there's no Jordan Moore this year. Like there's
Yeah,
no that guy. There are a bunch of guys that could be and a bunch of potential, but there's no coming into the season we know. Receptions, I just think in terms of experience and kind of third down guy, I think Cooper Barkate's going to be that guy that leads team receptions. I don't think his receptions to yards is going to translate. Like his yards per catch may be extremely low. So I think he's going to be more of a safety blanket. But I'm gonna have Cooper getting 52 receptions. I'm gonna buy all the Anthony stock. I think he's gonna go for 900 yards this year. Just simply, I think he's elite in everything. He's going to be a true playmaker.
I sure hope so.
And for touchdowns, I'm with Noah. I'm taking the tight end, but I'm going Landon King
Mm.
to lead us in touchdowns, and I'm going to go Landon get 6. Am I a little bit persuaded by the clip that Duke dropped earlier today? Probably,
And that's the
but
intent.
it was enough to make me a believer. So I'll take Landon King to lead us with 6 touchdowns.
My predictions are if Angelo Anthony stays healthy, stays on the field all year, and is utilized the way he should be, I could see Angelo Anthony breaking like a Duke reception record. Like from all accounts that we've heard from inside of practice, Angelo Anthony is like the most explosive, fastest Duke receiver that we've had probably ever. Um, just blows past the secondary, and he's tall. He's played in the SEC and the Big Ten, both big time conferences.
Won a
So
national championship.
he was with Michigan when they won the national championship, so he's no slouch. I mean,
He
so
played in the semifinal game before. That's the game he got hurt in at Michigan.
yeah. So I mean, like this dude is no joke. Like I have a friend who went to Michigan and he was there at the time Anthony was there and he was like, dude, if Anthony can stay healthy for y'all, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So give me Angelo Anthony leading the team in receptions. Um with 56 receptions for again like 789 yards and 7 touchdowns.
I think going with a clean sweep.
I respect that actually. I like
Yeah,
that. Just number one across the board.
for sure. Yeah, I think like, as we've been saying, it's a very deep room, diverse room, just kind of unproven across the board. And, got a lot to prove. So, hope they capitalize on that. And, I think they will. And that'll be a bright spot. Um, Definitely, like we were saying, it was just kind of all of us picking different people there. But that's just kind of how I feel like the season's going to unfold for Duke this year
Yeah, we don't
offensively.
know. And that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
And now getting over to something we do know a little bit more when it comes to the for certains or who's going to ball, what kind of the numbers are going to be like. Talk a little bit about the defensive side of the football, Jonathan
Mm.
Packey's crew. Getting into just some of the leaders of the defense in the main categories. Going to have two tackles, like the two leading tacklers, the two leading sacks, leading interception, and leading pass breakup. So diving right into that, I do think we have a 100 tackle guy on our roster this year. I think Trey Freeman's going to go for 112. I'm all in on the Trey Freeman stock. I think this is going to be a huge year for our linebacking core. And to kind of stick with that, and this is a positive, means everybody's doing their jobs up front. I'm going to have Nick Morris as my second leading tackler. I think Nick's going to have a great year, record about 88 tackles. Getting into our leading sacks, I don't think you can argue these. You can possibly find a wild card. I know Tyler's probably and Eli both have the same, but Wes and VJ, I also can't put one ahead of the other. They're so damn even and good. One's gonna have 9 sacks, the other will have 8.5, and there's just nothing. I couldn't pick which one. So those two guys definitely up there. And then for my pass breakups, I'm gonna go a little off with that one. I'm gonna go Chandler Rivers. You guys might not know who that is. Little underground Duke football player.
Real diamond in the rough this year.
Yeah, Chandler Rivers, known unproven football player at Duke. But I'm gonna search real deep and pick Chandler for pass breakups and interceptions.
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with some of those. I think for tackles, I'm a pick the transfer. I'm going Jaden Francois. Just like everyone thought Cam Bergeron was going to be our leading tackler last year. We all called that. I think he's going to slide into that role and take over. I do think Trey Freeman is going to bounce back. He's off the milk carton. He'll show up for all 3 quarters this year, or the first three
Well,
quarters.
also like we got reports from Manny's earning or not earnings, Manny's donor call recently that said like something to the effect of part of the reason Trey was so low on tackles last year compared to 2023 was because that Manny's defense that he runs pulls Trey away from the line of scrimmage more than the previous defense did, which means that he's like doing more that doesn't he's doing more on defense that doesn't show up in the stat
Yeah,
sheet. he's a force that's not showing up in like the tackles. Like he's there and he's making a difference, just not as much on the stat sheet as he used to. For the record, we all love and believe in Trey Freeman. We don't actually think he was on a milk card. It was kind of just a half joke last season,
A
but
lot of people apparently can't take those, so sorry for our half jokes.
only full ones from now on,
Yeah, we're
or
only
none.
we're only gonna truly hate or not hate at all anymore. But you guys see the screen name, fourth quarter Trey Freeman, dog.
Absolute animal. But yeah,
Hashtag the closer.
I think Trey gets to 94 tackles. Sacks, I'm taking West number one with 8.5.
Mm.
I'm taking another shot here. I don't even know that I don't know what his playing time is going to look like this year. But I'm going to take true freshman Bryce Davis to get 5 sacks and be second on the team. And I think VJ is going to be right
Ooh.
there with him. But I think Bryce is going to get to 5 interceptions. I'm not going to pick Chandler just because I think the teams are going to intentionally not throw at Chandler Rivers enough for him to lead the team in interceptions. I'm going to go with Kamari Robinson to get 3 interceptions, but I'll say Chandler leads the team in pass breakups with 6.
No, where are you this week? I don't recognize that background.
I'm in our bedroom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I
Docs.
had where I sent that picture of the new setup. I just set up in here for it.
Ah,
But yeah, everybody, this is mine and Cindy's bedroom. Those are all match boxes up there. So
And what's
picture
your
frames
address
and
and social security number while we're
yeah. If
here?
you guys also want the card number, I'll let you know.
did she decorate with those matchboxes or was that you?
Both.
Hey, respect. You're a
Yeah,
man of taste.
it's a it's co. You know,
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
it is.
Well, considering the fact that the dude and I believe Manny calls it the Viper, considering the dude in the Viper position last year, which was Jaden, no, not Jaden,
Cam Bergeron.
Cam Bergeron, had the most tackles on the team. I don't see any reason why we can't continue that trend. So give me Jaden Francois with the most tackles this season with 107 tackles. For sacks, give me I think that's a good one. Either West or VJ are going to be the sack leaders for sure. I mean that D line is just so stacked and Harlan Bauer's got those dogs cooking. So also, if you guys need anyone to help move anything, feel free to hit up our boys at Q Hall. They'll help you move a couch. They'll help you move into your dorm.
Shout out our noobs, man.
Hit up the Q Hall. Um, yeah, give me big VJ Anthony with 7.5 sacks this season.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And let's see for interceptions. Give me Caleb Weaver with 5
Bang.
because I think that, and I hate to copy here, but they were spot on with this. I was listening to Section 17 earlier, and they spoke about how we're not going to see Terry Moore until minimum, at best, week 8 or 9. So for that reason, and because also Chandler Rivers is going to be such a dog this year, and he's going to be on everybody's like film, they're going to try to avoid passing and throwing towards Chandler Rivers. So because of that, give me the safety, Caleb Weaver leading the team in interceptions this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think as you guys just heard, ours are kind of different, kind of the same. Numbers are a little disparate, but the defense is going to be solid this year, and there's a lot of guys that can take those roles and make those plays. There's a lot of guys that'll rotate in and make plays and have good numbers, so a lot to be excited for. Now, kind of moving away from offense, defense, and stat predictions. Diving into how we think the season's going to go for Duke. Kind of what we expect the record to be personally, and biggest trap games, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and real quick, just in case anyone needs a refresher, the schedule is as follows: you get Elon at home, Illinois at home, road trip to Tulane, come home for NC State, road trips to Syracuse and to Cal back to back, bye week, Georgia Tech, bye week. We go to Death Valley, then we go to Stores, Connecticut, woo, and then we wrap up the season with Virginia at home, at Carolina, and then our the biggest rivalry in college football history, the Demon Deacons come to Durham.
Oh yeah, baby, the Battle of I-40.
Powerhouse.
So like Noah said, the first thing we'll touch on here before we get into how we think the schedule and our record is going to play out. We're each going to pick a game we think where Duke might be in trouble, a trap game where we may get upset. We're going to each pick a game where we think Duke can pull an upset, and then just the game in general we're most excited for. So I'll kick that one off. Trap game. Noah touched on it earlier, and I thought I was going to get. I didn't know everyone else was going to be on this train. I think State is definitely a trap game, just in the sense of you get back-to-back games with Illinois and Tulane, a top 15 team and a team that is top 25 caliber. One of them's a road game. Those are going to be two hot, and you got the whole Mensa Revenge Bowl storylines. Those are going to take a lot of energy, like that. Those are going to be two intense football games, and then you have to come back to Wallace Wade for your conference opener. NC State, another big game. Like Duke should beat State by 10 points this year. But following the Illinois and Tulane games, it's possible Duke walks in there, a little sluggish, maybe a sleepwalk through the first quarter where State gets a little bit of life in them, and Duke has to win on like a walk-off field goal type deal. So I think NC State could definitely be a trap game. Upset has got to be GT Tech. Um, as much as I love the Yellow Jackets, I'm all in. I think there's a world where the bye weeks are either going to help or hurt Duke. Bye week, Georgia Tech bye week either means that we're going to get slaughtered by Georgia Tech. Or I think we beat them by 10 points. I
Yeah.
don't think that game's going to be close one way or the other just because of the bye weeks. So I think that's my upset. And believe it or not, the game I'm most excited for is Clemson. Not for the game itself necessarily, but we're all making a trip
For
to
your
Death
birthday.
Valley. Yeah, we're making the trip to Death
The
Valley.
vibe.
Yeah, just a game at Clemson in general for the first time. I wonder if their fans cheer on 4th and 1 when they're on offense. We won't get to know because they won't have any fourth
Or if they
downs
play the
against
opposing team's
us.
fight song.
I wonder
Yeah,
if they're gonna give us a warm welcome. Probably not.
God, we are gonna rage at the Ruby
Rage.
Tuesday in Clemson, South Carolina
The
for
un-
Tyler's birthday the night before.
the unlimited salad bar is gonna have no
it's
idea
yeah,
when I hit it.
it
But
won't
Of the
it won't have
six
a
Ruby
clue.
Tuesdays still left.
yeah, that's definitely not gonna have a wait. But I guess, like Tyler said, my trap game is NC State. I think it's a winnable game. Duke wins by 7-10. But that's just the one I'm like, if they do underperform, it would be that one. My upset, Illinois. It is an upset on paper, but I just feel like there's a vibe around that game that a lot of people think that. But I think we're better in Illinois, so I think we're going to show it early in the year. Noon kick, daytime Todd Polino. A lot of things could go right for us. And the game I'm most excited for is Georgia Tech. Looking forward to playing Tech at home. Tech's going to be good. Their record should be pretty solid at that time, as well as Duke. Both teams could be ranked around then. And that could also be that second ACC loss, as compared to three ACC losses. So looking forward to that game.
So for me, let's see, biggest trap game. I mean, dude, there's several on this schedule. This schedule is a very weird schedule. Truly. I mean, if not for the teams that we play, it's where we play them also.
Yeah,
At Tulane, we should always be an American Conference team. No ifs or buts. But there's going to be that storyline about, the whole Mensa thing. They're a good team. They're not P4, but they're a good team. And we're coming out of what's going to be a bloodbath, like a true like slugfest with us in Illinois. Like somebody said recently, we could be caught with our pants down looking ahead to NC State, overlooking Tulane and like lose. Who knows? So Tulane could be a trap game. State could be a trap game, but if all goes to plan, I see us very well starting the season 4-0. Syracuse could be a trap game because weird things happen. We don't play them that much.
And
Different
that
environment
dome's just got
in that
voodoo. Yeah.
dome. I mean, it's like the RCA dome, but not.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, shout out Indianapolis, shout out Bobby if you're listening to this. Shout out the RCA dome. Uh, Cal could be a weird game. We're traveling to the West Coast after three weird games against Tulane, State, and Syracuse.
Don't forget
UConn,
UConn. Yeah.
UConn could be a big time trap game. So honestly, dude, I mean, give me and then Carolina. Let's not forget Carolina because Carolina, I don't expect them to be a like an elite team by any means this year, but weird things happen in rivalry games. You know what I'm saying? Like Carolina and
Well,
Duke,
and the
one team could be 11-0,
ACC,
and team could be 3-8, and the 3-8 team wins.
Jim Phillips is going to do everything he can to at least keep Carolina in that ball game.
Correct.
Jim.
So I
They
mean,
Jim.
will.
we we're
They need UNC to be competitive this year.
correct with the whole Belichick storyline too.
Yeah.
So I mean, generously speaking, Duke has one, two, three, four, five, six trap. Half our schedule is trap games, potential trap games. It's hard for me to pick just one. But I mean, biggest trap game, if we're talking like opponent that we should beat, but I could see us not beating. I guess if we're talking implications on like conference, Syracuse.
Yeah, I could easily. Well, actually getting ready to get into that in a second, but yeah, I
Brand
could see
Brown's a
one of
good
those.
coach. It's a good team. I could see people not thinking too much of Syracuse, but like just where it falls, them or State. And State has already been picked, so give me Syracuse.
There we
In
go.
terms
Yeah,
of conference trap games.
and
Ugh.
so next we're going to hit on our actual records now,
This is
where we've got
where
Duke. Yeah, this is where things are going to get a little shaky. Last year Noah was the resident pessimist. I am taking the reins over this year. Um, I've got Duke 7-5 in the regular season. We beat Elon in a nail biter. Um, we beat Tulane, we beat Cal, we beat Connecticut, then we beat UVA, UNC, and Wake. I do think we lose to Illinois. I do think State will get us. I think we slip up somewhere on one of the
Wait,
three road
you
games.
think State beats us?
I do.
Don't
I think
don't put
State
that
will
out
beat
there,
us.
dude. That's my birthday. That's my birthday.
I think we will drop one of the three between Syracuse, Cal, and UConn. I think one of those three will be our Duke loss of the year, where like we just for whatever reason forget what a football looks like. I do think Georgia Tech and Clemson beat us.
Would you guys
Um,
say that our Duke loss in 2023 was UVA or Louisville?
Louisville was
mm,
good.
So UVA.
Yeah,
yeah.
Louisville was good. Um, I think our bowl game, Duke plays Auburn in the Mayo Bowl. I do think Duke wins that one, and they end the season at 8-5
Fuck you,
overall.
Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, and then Auburn takes Darian Mensah and Manny Diaz to end the season.
Well, since Tyler just made all you guys gasp,
Yeah, they probably just all
last
stopped watching.
um and mind you, you know, schedule's not awful, it's not great. I've got Duke at 10-2, with losses to Clemson and Georgia Tech. I think Duke drops the two in the middle, but with those bye weeks, I think they kind of figure it out. Um, and then go on the road, lose to Clemson, then go win against UConn, Virginia, UNC, and Wake to end the season. I think we lose the ACC championship game. I think we play in the Pop Tart Bowl versus Baylor. I think Duke
Whoa.
wins.
Talk about Scumgate.
It's got that all figured out. I mean, I guess for me, I have us going. I think realistically we can beat best out. I'm going to be the optimist here and go best case scenario. Let me go best case scenario here. Beat the shit out of Elon, please God. Beat the shit out of Elon this year. We need this. That'll set the tone. It's just Elon, but winning by 23 versus winning by 40 are two very different things. We beat Elon, we beat Illinois, we beat Tulane, beat State, beat Syracuse, beat Cal to start the season. What, 6-0? Bye week, and then I'd say we beat GT Tech, lose to Clemson, beat UConn, beat Carolina, lose to Carolina. No, sorry, beat Virginia, lose to Carolina, beat Wake Forest. Best case scenario, we finished 10-2. Um, the game I'm most excited for, I mean, there's
No,
several.
what bowl game do you think they're going to be in?
Sorry, I didn't touch on the game I'm most excited for, but for bowl game, um, it's hard to say. I think we have been ducking the Holiday Bowl for too long. However, I think we do could realistically get higher than that. So I don't know, it's
You
hard to
think we
say.
could get an Orange Bowl?
Oh God. What do you
Like,
guys
because
think?
the ACC loser would get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clemson seems like the clear winner, but like also ACC runner up could go to the playoff. Which like holy shit, if Duke was like the 11 seed going to play Penn State,
24,000 people in Wallace Way would be electric.
it's too cold and there's church tomorrow.
13,000 of them would be the other team's fans.
The game starts at 8 and I have church in the morning.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
God. And
was infuriating.
that's an actual argument I've seen made on Twitter, and I about threw my phone across the room.
It
For
also
leaving the
happened
Holy
right
overtime
in
no.
game.
person at us. Yeah, it happened in
Yeah.
person this past season.
Leaving the SMU game as it goes into overtime against a top 25 team, and the stands are
I
just
can't
emptying.
stay.
The stands already weren't that full. I mean, they weren't that great to begin with, even with Employee Day. But there were people just filing out of the stadium, going into the overtime. And I was literally, wasn't SMU, wasn't I saying to people, like, where are you going? It
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
literally.
yelling at them. You're like, the
Because like
game's not over.
people started leaving like early, like
I
halftime.
got
You know what I
church in
mean?
the
It
morning.
was like
Fuck
9 o'clock at
you.
halftime, and people were like, "I gotta leave."
Meanwhile, if it was basketball with a 10 p.m. tip off against Meredith College, you bet your ass they'd be there.
They'd be playing Tennessee Tech A&M, and they'd camp out for it.
Yep. I digress.
But that's a
Um,
battle for another pod.
yeah, but real quick, going back to the schedule and the bye weeks, I think those bye weeks fall at what could either be very convenient and necessary times or very inconvenient times. Because the first bye week falls after we come back from playing Cal and we're going into Georgia Tech. I think having that bye week to reset and readjust to the time zone change, that's a 3 hour difference. That's crucial. I think having that bye week to readjust to the time zone and to prep for Georgia Tech, who, like Noah said on the Dwayne Carter pod, Georgia Tech is always a weird game and weird things happen. They're the only team in the country that could go 6-6 with 6 wins over ranked teams.
Hmm.
Um, I think having a bye going into Georgia Tech at best case could be a great time to rest up, heal, and prepare. And then another bye week to rest up and heal from the Georgia Tech game going into Clemson. I think those two bye weeks could actually be the greatest thing to happen to us this season, if we're being optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
100%.
speaking on the ACC real quick as we start to wrap this up, we're not going to give you a whole list of standings for the ACC, but we do want to touch on kind of the big players in the ACC and kind of the guys that you don't need to really worry about all that much. Our consensus top three ACC teams, we do think it's going to be Clemson and Georgia Tech, 1, 2. And then we've got Duke just beating out Louisville for the third spot. Our bottom three, I think this is going to be unanimous no matter who you ask. Stanford, Virginia, and Wake. And no disrespect to Wake. Me and Noah, we love Coach Dicker. We think they're
No,
going to be
yeah.
fine, but
I'm a
just it's
believer.
yeah,
They'll
it's
make
just
a
not
bowl
this
game,
year.
maybe. Like they'll make a bowl game, but finish really bad in conference. That's why we
Yeah,
got them down there.
this
Their
just isn't the year
schedule's
for Wake.
super easy though. They're non-cons. They go 4-0, and then squeak
Yeah,
2 ACC wins out.
they're the
Under
Duke way.
Yeah, absolutely. Underachiever, SMU. Everybody's really high on SMU. They have an absolute brutal schedule and just I'm not a huge believer. I think last year was a fluke. If they prove me wrong and this clip goes viral on some SMU edit, congrats,
God,
whoever finds it. And then our overachiever. of the year, we believe, after being at Media Day and as well as looking at the schedule, is Boston College, baby. You red
Hmm.
bandanas.
The
Bill
Fighting Billy
O'Brien and
OBs.
company. Yeah, Bill O'Brien and company got some things rolling up there. And I think they're in better shape without Castellanos at quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, they're going to be fun to watch, and Boston College is due to finally become relevant in something again.
Mhm.
Um, and last thing we're going to touch on here is kind of our best bets to wrap it up. God, we hope we can do better than we did last year. We started out really good last year,
On
actually. Like weeks
fire.
1 through 4, we were like rolling, and then it just fell off. Um, so I'm going to give you some win. Me and Noah are going to give you a few win totals. If Eli wants to jump in with one or two, he can.
No
Um,
thanks. I don't
Yeah.
gamble. I'm a man of God.
so the first one I'm going to give you is Virginia under 6.5.
Slam.
Tony Elliott, fuck you. That's like I think they suck anyways, but just for that, Wake Forest over 4.5 wins. I think
Absolutely.
I think even
Free.
I genuinely think they go 4-0 non-conference. And they can scrape one ACC win, maybe two. Duke at 6.5. That's over. Like I've
Over.
got to say, like there's
Slam. I'm not a
seven and a
betting
half
man,
is
but
extremely, or six and a
slam
half
that
is
over on
low.
Duke and Wake.
Yeah, I've got a couple different ones than Tyler, but I also agree with all of Tyler's. If you want to make some money, those are good bets. And
Bet the rent on the overs on Wake and Duke.
I've got Cal over 5.5 wins. I think the Bears go 8-4 this year. SMU under 8.5. I think they go 7-5, 8-4 at best. Duke over 6.5. And then just to kind of round it out, since this will kind of be like the week 0 episode, and as you guys know, as much as we love Duke, we love college football, and it's all its beauty. And our week 0 bets of the week are Iowa State versus Kansas, Farmageddon in Ireland. I am taking the Iowa State money line. Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones. That is God Farmageddon in Dublin, dude.
Dude,
That's
wasn't
going
the
to be
game
lit.
last year when Georgia Tech beat
Yeah,
FSU?
Yep.
it was. Yeah, GT
Dude,
Tech.
I remember so vividly sitting in the sport clips,
Yeah.
waiting to get my haircut, watching that game on TV, be like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah,
Georgia
I was
Tech
in
is
shock.
beating number 10 FSU. Turns out, I mean, FSU was a joke last year and was a fraud,
Duke got
but
their
we
first
thought we
ever
were
win
like,
against
holy
them.
shit, is FSU a fraud or is Georgia Tech for real? Turns out it
Well,
was somewhere in the middle.
that was the thing because Georgia Tech was like manhandling FSU like on the in the trenches. That was the thing. It was
I
like,
remember that
oh my
so
god.
vividly.
But mine's gonna be, and Frank Reich, Buffalo Bill legend. I salute you, but I'm taking Hawaii week
I
one.
acknowledge you.
Go Bows, baby.
Yeah,
Go
like
Bows.
they got the new stadium out there in Hawaii built finally. Stanford, you don't simply walk into Hawaii Stadium and come out with a victory against the Rainbow Warriors. Um, so I'm taking Hawaii money line against Stanford week one. I think, like, I just don't think Stanford's very good at
Yeah.
all. no,
Those
no disrespect to Stanford. No disrespect to anybody out there, but they're just not very good.
so yeah, if you guys are degenerate gamblers like most of you are, take that advice and do what you will. But
Go give
boys,
yourself a couple bucks.
it's been
Go
a
buy
banger.
something nice.
Season recap number 2 under our belts. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Boys,
Yeah,
it's
and
close. It's close.
16
yeah,
days from recording here. Today is Jeremy Cash days until Duke football season, and tomorrow is gonna be well, I can't tell you, but it rhymes with baked
yeah.
jailer. So
And real quick, shout out to everyone that's been listening. Like our subscribe, just in like our season previews when we've been doing positions, we've gained
Yeah, turns
like
out all I
40
had
subscribers.
turns out all we had to do was ask you guys to hit that button. So appreciate that.
Yeah, please keep hitting the button.
yeah,
Um,
smash that motherfucking
Make
like and
make
subscribe
burner
button.
YouTubes and
yeah,
yeah, follow from there.
and leave comments. Someone other than Tim,
Please.
please.
But
Please
Tim,
Tim,
don't.
keep
still please leave
yeah,
comments.
Tim, keep doing your thing, big dog. But someone
Booster.
else, please.
Hashtag what would Tim do?
God.
Wait,
He's already
YouTube
left.
pyramid YouTube
He probably
pyramid
quit
program.
watching actually when I said the other 10 was better.
Yeah, we lost a long-term viewer there. But
He
boys,
single-handedly drove us our in the algorithm.
we appreciate all you guys that listen. Anybody that made it this far, thank you. And
All 3 hours of this pod.
as always,
How do I stop recording here? And